Jessica, or I Dare You, written and told by Daniel Bishop the Storyteller. Jessica was throwing a 14th birthday party slumber party. I should say at this point that she didn't actually know when her birthday was, as she was adopted from China as a baby. But her parents celebrated her birthday on her adoption day. Now, her parents were just as interesting. Her mother was a short Scandinavian woman from Minnesota, and her father was tall, dark, and handsome from North Dakota. Together they made a very interesting family, and Jessica was very outgoing, very popular, very pretty, and always up for a dare. This last one got her into trouble quite a bit. See, when she was 8 years old, she was dared to put a doll on a haunted grave at midnight, nearly scared herself to death. At 11, she took a swim in the gravel pit pond in February. And at 12, she ran down Main Street, stripped naked, painted red, and yelling, "The aliens are coming." This last one got her into court-ordered therapy, and it was all on a dare. Therapy didn't seem to help much. She always was up for a dare. Now, the party was supposed to be a light-hearted, fluffy, frilly occasion. But Jessica had other things in mind. And as soon as her parents went to bed, that's when the party got real. She brought out all the scary movies. She brought out the Ouija board, and she started making dares. Now, most of the girls were up for this, as they didn't expect anything else from a party for Jessica. But one girl, Maria, well, she didn't like all this scary stuff. And so, with the risk of her underwear being put in the freezer, she went and climbed in her sleeping bag and pretended to go to sleep. They watched a movie about a haunted doll and asked the board questions. After the movie got over, one of the girls said, "Ask the board what we should play next." The girls, giggling, all put their hands on the planchette. And Jessica asked, "What game should we play next?" The planchette began to move. B-L-O-O-D-Y. All the giggling had stopped now. All the girls' eyes were fixed on the planchette. M-A-R-Y. "This is stupid!" one of the girls yelled. "Who did this? Whose idea was this?" Nobody admitted to moving the planchette, and many of the girls decided now was a good time to go to sleep. But some of the girls were more intrigued. One of them said, "How do you play Bloody Mary?" Jessica had the answer. You see, you take a candle and you light it and you put it on the left side of a mirror. And then you close the door, lock it, turn off all the lights, look into the mirror and say, "Bloody Mary," and turn around and do that 3 times. And then Bloody Mary will appear in the mirror, reach out, grab you, pull you into the mirror where you have to spend eternity being Bloody Mary. "That's not how you do it," one of the girls said. "You have to put a candle on both sides of the mirror and you turn around 13 times. And then she just reaches out and scratches out your eyes." Said Jessica. "My mother told me." My father was furious, but my mother told me, and I know. "Well, if you know so much, smarty pants," said the girl, "I dare you to do it." That's all it took. Jessica was up in an instant. She ran into the kitchen to grab a candle. They only had 2 kinds in the house, her mother's scented candles and the birthday candles. She grabbed the green birthday candle off of her birthday cake and ran back to the girls. And then fear and trepidation, just trembling, she marched her way into the bathroom. The girls saw her light the candle, close the door, and they all heard her chain the door locked. Then they waited. They waited. And one by one, they all started to climb into their sleeping bags and go to sleep. Seemed without Jessica there to egg them on, the party just wasn't that interesting. When all the girls were asleep, Maria got up about 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom. When she tried the door, she found it was still chained, so she snuck upstairs to use Jessica's parents' bathroom. When she came out, she nearly bumped into Jessica's father, who was a little embarrassed because he didn't figure he needed to wear a bathrobe in his own house. "What are you doing up here?" he said. "Jessica's still in the one downstairs," said Maria. "Still?" Maria told on all of them. She told about the scary movie. She told about the Ouija board. She told about the Bloody Mary. By this time, Jessica's father was furious. He ran and he got dressed and he went downstairs and he pounded on the door. "Jessica, I need to talk to you!" All the girls started stirring in their sleeping bags, but there was no answer from the bathroom. He pounded on the door again. "Jessica, come out here now!" By this time, all the girls had gathered around. Some of them started to talk and were looking nervous, and Maria was explaining everything to Jessica's mother. By the time she got to the point of Bloody Mary, all the girls were crying, and one of them said, "Bloody Mary got her! Bloody Mary got her!" "Jessica!" her father shouted, this time with more concern in his voice than anger. "Bloody Mary got her!" And he kicked the door in, broke the chain, and slammed the door against the wall. But the bathroom was empty. That was the end of the party. The police were called. The girls went home. The police came over and searched the bathroom. They searched the house. They searched the entire block. An Amber Alert went out, and by morning the entire town had been searched. What confused the detectives was, how do you chain lock a door from the inside with nobody there? Jessica's father was interviewed by the police and released. All the girls were interviewed by the police and the media. Their story was so far out there and unusual that they all were put in court-ordered therapy. And Jessica's mother was beside herself with worry. Most days she just sat in the bathroom staring in the mirror, asking, "Where is Jessica?" She yelled like a madwoman when Jessica's father tried to clean up the remnants of the party. "There's a clue in there of where Jessica is," she said, and she wouldn't let him clean up so much as a candy wrapper. And Maria, most days, came and sat with Jessica's mother. 3 months went by. Most people's lives went back to normal. And one day, Jessica's mother and Maria sat in the bathroom. And Jessica's mother saw a mouse in the mirror. They both screamed and ran from the room, and Jessica's mom stepped on the Ouija board and slipped right onto her back. She just grabbed it and held it. She looked up at Maria, and they both said together, "Jessica." They ran and put the Ouija board on the table, and they put their fingers on the planchette, and they both said at the same time, "Where is Jessica?" The planchette started to move. BLOODYMARY. Without a hesitation, Jessica's mother ran into the kitchen, grabbed the candle, ran back to the bathroom, and as she lit the candle, Maria closed the door and turned off the light. The chain was still broken, so they couldn't lock the door. Maria leaned against the wall as Jessica's mother stared into the mirror and said, "Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary." Maria saw it first, materialized right next to her in the mirror. When Jessica's mother came all the way around, she saw it too. There stood Jessica, in the bathroom with them, in the mirror. Her eyes were gone, and blood stained her face. And as she looked at them with those sockets, she mouthed silently, "I dare you." Maria screamed. Jessica's father plowed into the bathroom, looked around, and found Maria laying on the floor with her hands over her eyes, rocking back and forth. He grabbed her and pulled her hand away and said, "What happened in here?" And when she looked at him, her eyes were vacant and clear. He pulled away and turned his head, involuntarily looking at the mirror. But there in the mirror was Maria, Jessica's mother, and Jessica, staring back at him. None of them had eyes, and blood ran down their faces. He looked back at Maria, who stared at him with those colorless eyes. "Bloody Mary," Maria said. And that was all she ever said.